Good morning, students. Yesterday we teach about types of vectors and especially we teach about unit vector. Okay, and we also solve a numerical problem on unit vector. Okay, now our today's topic is representation of vector. How we can represent any vector? Then there are two methods: number one graphical method, number two mathematical methods. These methods are very simple. In graphical method, any vector is represented by the straight line. Then this arrow of the straight line is shows the direction of the vector, and length of this straight line shows the magnitude of vector. Okay, this length is directly proportional to the magnitude of vector. Length is more, then magnitude is more. Okay, if this is a vector and this is another vector, so the magnitude of this vector is more than this, but the direction of these two vectors are same. If these are two vectors, number one and number two, I imagine that length of these two vectors are same, length of these two lines are same, then magnitude are same, but direction are not same. I take this and this, then both direction and magnitude both are not same. So very simple, this fourth method is graphical method. Second method is mathematical method. In this mathematical method, we can take any vector in the component of that vector in x direction, y direction and z direction. Okay, then let us assume this is any a vector. Okay, then ax is the component of this a vector in x direction. Unit vector in x direction is I cap, like that a y j cap plus a z k cap. We can also represent any vector like that. What is the magnitude of this vector? Then we write a formula yesterday. What is the magnitude of any vector? Square of the multiplier of I cap, coefficient of I cap का स्क्वायर कीजिए प्लस कोफिशिएंट ऑफ y कैप का स्क्वायर कीजिए j कैप का एंड कोफिशिएंट ऑफ k कैप का जो भी मल्टीप्लायर है कोफिशिएंट है उसको आप स्क्वायर कर दीजिए. ओके, ax स्क्वायर प्लस ay स्क्वायर प्लस az स्क्वायर. दिस इज द magnitude of this vector. So any vector is represented by like that. It is represented by in the component of this vector in x direction, y direction and z direction. Okay, now another method in which we write the vector with the help of unit vector. What is the unit vector? Yesterday we read that unit vector is vector divided by the magnitude of given vector. Then vector equal to any vector is magnitude of that vector is multiplied with the unit vector. Here this a vector magnitude shows the magnitude of vector and this a cap shows the direction of vector. So what is a? We can also write this like that, a cap. Here this a is the magnitude of vector, means we can also write a vector magnitude equal to a. This is also shows the magnitude of this a vector, because we don't use arrow, we don't use cap here. So this is also shows the magnitude of this given vector. So the first method is graphical method and second two methods are mathematical methods. We can represent any vector like that or like that. Okay, very simple. Now some important things, some important points about vectors. Okay, here we take if we take a vector, that vector is AB vector. This point is A and this point is B. AB vector's direction is towards B, A to B. So this arrow is towards A to B. If we multiply this vector by minus sign, minus AB vector, when we multiply any vector with minus sign, then the magnitude of that vector remains same, but the direction of that vector is changed. Minus AB vector is equal to BA vector. Magnitude remains same and direction becomes reverse, opposite, just opposite. अगर पहले उसका डायरेक्शन प्लस आई के डायरेक्शन में था तो माइनस से मल्टीप्लाई करने पे किधर हो जाएगा, माइनस आई के डायरेक्शन में जाएगा. प्लस जे कैप में था तो अब किधर हो जाएगा, माइनस जे कैप हो जाएगा. ओके, देन सेकंड पॉइंट इज वी कैन शिफ्ट एनी वेक्टर, एनी सिमिलर वेक्टर पैरेलल टू दैट वेक्टर इन यूनिवर्स. आप किसी भी वेक्टर को, सिमिलर वेक्टर है, सेम वेक्टर है, ए वेक्टर, अगर ये ए वेक्टर है तो उसको आप यहाँ रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं यहाँ पर, बिकॉज मैग्नीट्यूड एंड डायरेक्शन इज रिमेन सेम, मैग्नीट्यूड इज सेम एंड टू पैरेलल वेक्टर्स हैव सेम डायरेक्शन. सो आप उनको आप ट्रांसफर कर सकते हैं. व्हाट इज द पॉइंट, टू वेक्टर्स आर कॉल्ड इक्वल इफ देयर मैग्नीट्यूड एंड डायरेक्शन आर सेम. So we can transfer any vector parallel to itself, anywhere कहीं भी आप इसको प्लेस कर सकते हैं. Okay, and third point, if two vectors has same direction, then the unit vector of both them will be similar. अगर two vectors हैं, देखिए two vectors, number one f vector, if the second vector is this f1 vector and f2 vector, direction of these two vectors are same but magnitude are not same, because this f2 have more magnitude and f1 have less magnitude, but both are parallel, so direction is same. So we can write f1 vector cap is equal to f2 vector cap, because direction remains same when we find the unit vector of these, but magnitude of f1 cap as well as f2 cap becomes 1. जब आप इसका यूनिट वेक्टर फाइंड करेंगे तो f1 वेक्टर का मैग्नीट्यूड कितना होगा, f1 cap have magnitude 1 and f2 cap also have magnitude 1, both have magnitude 1. Okay, so third point is that if two vectors have same direction but magnitude is not same, so they are not same vectors, but unit vector of them are a same vector. Why equal vector? Why? Because now direction तो पहले ही सेम था, जब आप उसका यूनिट वेक्टर बनाएंगे then magnitude also become same. Okay dear students, then we take some laws about vector addition, how we can add vectors. Okay, then first is graphical methods for vector addition. Graphical method of vector addition. There are two methods, triangle and polygon method. Okay, in triangle method used for addition of two vectors. If this is first vector p vector and this is second vector q vector, we want to add these two vectors, then this is p vector को आप कहीं पर भी इसको इस सेम डायरेक्शन में, सेम मैग्नीट्यूड की लाइन से यूनिवर्स में कहीं भी रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं. then q vector, this is q vector, then this is the sum of these two vectors r vector, and r vector equal to p vector plus q vector. This is triangle law of vector addition. In words we can write, if two vectors are represented by two sides of a triangle in same order, then third side in opposite order shows the resultant of given two vectors. In polygon, next is in polygon law. In polygon, if we have more than two vectors, 3 vectors, 4 vectors, 5 vectors to add, then we use polygon law. In polygon law, we represent different vectors by the different side of any polygon. First we take only three vectors, number 1 vector, number 2 vector, number 3 vector and number 4 vector. If this is A vector, this is B vector, this is C vector, we see that all vectors are in same order, then last side of polygon in opposite order represent the sum of all these vectors, A vector plus B vector plus C vector equal to D vector. This law is used for quadrilateral, parallelogram, pentagon, hexagon, okay, octagon, कोई भी साइड्स आ सकते हैं यानी if we have a pentagon, then this is A vector, this is B vector, this is C vector, this is D vector, and opposite last side is opposite manner E vector. Then we can write A vector plus B vector plus C vector plus D vector equal to E vector. Okay, dear students, this is polygon law of vector addition. In this polygon law, we represent different side of any polygon of by the we represent different side of polygon by different vectors in same order. Then last side is equal to addition of all these vectors in opposite order. ये देखिए इन सबका ऑर्डर क्या था, सेम. देन order of last this E vector is opposite to A, B, C, D. Okay, dear students, these are the main important points of today's class. We take here polygon law, vector triangle law of vector addition, and how we can represent the vectors. Okay, dear students, thank you.